Hello, you motherless goats. Chovy here. I'm going to do a quick video on how to install Kali Linux on VirtualBox. If you don't know what VirtualBox is, it's a virtual machine you can run locally. It's basically just a piece of software. It runs on Mac, Windows, or Linux, and it allows you to run an OS locally inside a window. So you can use it for testing and other things. Like I used to use Windows inside my Mac to do browser development for older versions of IE. Right now I'm on Ubuntu 2004, so I'm going to go to virtualbox.org, go down to downloads, and I'm going to get that. I've already got it, so I'm just going to cancel this. It's basically a deb package. When you click on it in Ubuntu, it'll just ask you if you want to install it. So that should work. So I will start. The other thing you'll want is Kali. Go to kali.org, Kali. Go to downloads. I'll just get this first one, 64-bit installer. They have the live CD and the net installer. And then they have the 32-bit versions, but I will get the 64-bit installer. And then I've ordered a wireless card that enables penetration testing. So I'll do a video when that arrives on cracking Wi-Fi networks. I'll just crack my own network and see if that works. But so first we got to install Kali, so that's what we're going to do here. So once you install VirtualBox, like I said, you click on the .deb file if you're in Ubuntu. I already have one with Pure OS because I was thinking about getting a Purism laptop. So if you want to test Linux versions, you can do that, which is pretty easy to do. Kali is not here. I must be, is it 4.0? I'm not sure. It must be 4. Although I thought we were on 5. So I'm going to up the RAM quite a bit. I'm going to put it up to like 8. I just leave the defaults checked here. Create a virtual hard disk now. I use a VirtualBox disk image. Dynamically allocated, and I'm going to put, we won't really be saving much data on here, so I'll just put 10 gigabytes. I find 10 gigabytes, a couple of big files, and that should do it. Okay, so you'll notice I have this entry here on the left. Now I'm just going to click start, and I haven't installed the OS yet. So when I click start, it asks me to do this. It has the previous selection, so I'm going to click that little yellow icon. I'm going to add Kali Linux. Open that. Click choose. Make sure you have Kali Linux installed, and then click start. So this is going to run me through the install process. I'm going to do the graphical install. VirtualBox has some guest OS features. I think it's a separate package. We can run through that after this. I'm going to pick English, US, American English. It's just going to create a virtual hard drive and all that shit for me. Let's see here. It's copying over all the software. This should only take a few minutes. Okay, detect the network interface. Configuring that thing, that stuff. IPv6. DHCP. Kali. I'm just gonna leave the defaults here. Because I think with Kali it just like runs everything as root. I'm just gonna put Kali as my username. Okay, choose a password. I'm going to type my password. I'm in Pacific. What's the time zone? It's partitioning. I'm going to use the entire disk. You can do encryption and all that shit. We don't really need anything since we're just playing around. All files I want to partition, yes. Continue. These partitions are going to write the changes to disk, yes. Continue. Now, if you don't know what Kali is, it's basically a pen tester's tool, Linux. It's a Linux distribution that has all these hacking tools on there for like security people, security professionals to use. And I've used it a little bit, but most of the tools I don't know how to use. But I've done some research on the Wi-Fi hacking tool, and that's always been something that sounds like fun if you're in a hotel or something. I get Alt 2600. It's a magazine for hackers. It's been around since the 80s, but they had a good article in there a couple of years ago. And a coworker of mine were just fucking around, and we took over the hotel's network without having to pay the $5 internet fee. And it's basically the way it works in this article was, I guess the MAC addresses are broadcast, so you can spoof their MAC address of a device that's connected to the internet, like the TV. And then it kicks that device off and you take it over. So if you want free hotel access, you can look at the 2600 magazine archives and find that article. But this one is going to actually use a dictionary attack against WPA2 secured network. So from my experience, most of the people that I know, especially the non-tech savvy ones, don't really secure their networks that well, which is fine. I don't do it either. I find it a pain in the ass to type a complicated password when I'm connecting devices, especially if you have like a especially if you have, I'm going to check large here. If you have like Fire Stick, you have to use the remote to enter the password. You keep it simple. So anyway, I have a simple password. It should be pretty easy to crack. But we'll experiment around and change up the passwords. But we'll do that in the next video. Okay, I'm just going to pause this because it looks like it's going to take a minute or so. Oh, well, 26 seconds for me. Alright, I'll just pause it. Okay, guys, so I have one issue. When I was installing this, it crapped out on me. And I think I did not have a big enough hard drive defined. Although the error was kind of generic, it just said something like, you cannot continue. Please pick another step. I tried the next step, which was Grub Installer, and that failed too. Tried it again, got the same error. So what I did was I made an 18 gigabyte hard drive instead of 10. And then instead of checking the large install, which installs a bunch of extra packages, I just picked the defaults, and so far it seems to be working. So I'm gonna pause this again, and we'll come back when it's ready to go. All right, guys. So the package is finished, and then it prompts you with install the Grub Bootloader. This seems like a new install. It not only operates on the computer. Yes, that's true, because we're using a we're using VirtualBox, so it's gonna think it's like by itself on the computer. If you were installing this as a dual boot, you'd probably want to say no, but it should detect it if you do it that way. Install the Grub loader. Continue. Okay, this should be pretty quick. Finishing installation. Oh, it installs VirtualBox Guest now. That's cool. You did not used to do that a couple of years ago. All the guest tools allow you to use like clipboard across VirtualBox, which is pretty handy if you're pasting passwords and shit like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, now it says installation is complete. We're just gonna click continue. It's gonna reboot. And here we go. So I'm just gonna choose the default to enter the desktop. One thing I want to do is fix the size of the screen here. Let's see. We're gonna go 1280 by 800. There we go. That's much better. Wow, you used to have to fuck around with that. Okay, so there's something in here called Fern. I don't have the hardware yet. I don't think my default Wi-Fi driver will work with this. No interface detected. No. First set list. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we gotta get the hardware. So I'll show you real quick. I'll put a link to this in the description. But you want this alpha, not alpha sprouts, alpha, is it alpha? I think it's FA Wi-Fi adapter, yeah. There's a couple different options. I got this one. I've used this one before. It's long range. I use this at the beach near my old house. I could pick up the park's Wi-Fi from where I used to hang out and smoke cigars. It was like 1 bar, and then with this thing it was like 5 bars. So I could totally sit where I wanted to at the beach and use the free Wi-Fi. So it's got dual band. It supports all this shit. 300 megabits per second, 5 gigahertz. It supports AC, ABG, and N. You want N. I think everybody's using N nowadays, but anyway, I'll put a link to this in the video description. It's a little pricey. It's $60, but if you want to have some fun, there's some cheaper ones. I think they have a single. So here's one for $39. It's only got 1 antenna. But I don't think it goes as fast. Not that you're gonna get gigabit speeds. Well, you might. I don't know. It depends on where you live. This alpha, this one, I don't know. I did some research, and this one here is the one that. The other thing I liked was it says Linux down here. Supports Linux, so pretty sure you can run this without any drivers. So I ordered this. It'll be here on Monday. I'll do a video then. In the meantime, I will play around with Kali and see what else I can find, and maybe do another tutorial on that. Alright guys, subscribe and share. Chovy.com. Chovy, the angry developer. Actually, hacking's pretty fun. I'm not really angry when I'm hacking. I only get angry working for the man. Alright guys, take it easy. Bye.